My friend, there comes a moment when you must choose to abandon the exhausting chase and remember the quiet power that lives within you. You have been taught to run, to strive, to wrestle the world for what you desire. But this chasing is a confession. It is a silent admission. I do not yet have what I seek. And as long as that belief lives in you, your world must reflect it. You must understand, nothing real can be missing from you. Your desires are not random, they are revelations. Each longing is a whisper from your deeper self, showing you the shape of your truest identity. You do not need to pursue it. You only need to become it. Pause now. Still your mind. Breathe. Feel what it would be like if what you seek were already yours. Not tomorrow, not after you prove yourself, but now, here, in this very breath. The outer world is not your master, it is your mirror, and the mirror does not change until you do. No more begging life to notice you, no more hoping that others will validate your worth. Instead, assume the posture of one who already has. Walk as if the door has opened, smile as if the answer has come. Sleep tonight in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the world will bow to the vibration you radiate. You are not here to chase, you are here to attract. And you attract by being, not by striving, not by pleading, but by embodying. Change your inner conversations. Speak not of lack, but of possession. Do not say, I will be, say, I am. For when you speak as one who is, all things rearrange to support the truth of your being. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are not becoming powerful, you have always been. You are now remembering what you once forgot. Let others chase. Let them exhaust themselves in the external, but you, be still and know. Be silent and imagine. Be bold and assume. Life, obedient and precise, will deliver all that matches the energy of the one who no longer chases, but simply knows. Desire is not a signal that something is far from you. It is not a reminder that you are lacking or waiting or hoping. No, desire is the evidence that what you seek already exists, and it is whispering through your soul to be known. The very moment a desire is born within you, it does not come from outside circumstances. It rises from the depths of your own consciousness, asking you not to chase, but to awaken. You see, nothing truly real can be added to you from the outside. Everything meaningful, everything enduring is already within. The world may reflect it later, but the origin of that reflection is internal. That longing you feel is not a void, it is a seed. And the seed does not cry for the tree. It knows that within it lies the entire forest, waiting for the right moment to unfold. The tragedy is that most people misunderstand desire. They treat it as a signal to go out, to beg, to prove, to run harder, faster. They wear themselves out pursuing what they already are. They do not realize that chasing something is to silently agree with its absence. And what you agree with inwardly, you sustain outwardly. You will never catch what you believe is beyond you. You will only repeat the loop of trying. But there is another way, a higher way. And that is to understand that you do not chase what you are. You reveal it by being it. The artist does not become an artist the moment they sell a painting. They are an artist the moment they feel it to be true within themselves. The lover is not made by another's affection. They are a lover the moment they walk in love. The wealthy do not become so when the money arrives. They become it the moment they rest in the feeling of abundance. To be is greater than to pursue. You must sit quietly with yourself and ask, if I had what I wanted now, how would I feel? How would I move? How would I think? What would I no longer seek? And then you live that, you walk in it, you breathe in it, not as an act, but as an embodiment. For it is not pretending, it is creating, it is aligning. You do not summon the future by force. You allow the future by resonance. Your only task is to come into harmony with the reality you wish to see. And you do this not through effort, but through assumption, through feeling, through imagination. The invisible you believe in becomes the visible you live in. Desire then is a holy guide. It points not to what is absent, but to what is waiting to be expressed. And you must stop running after it and instead ask yourself, what must I become so that this is no longer something I want, but something I am? It is already within you. It always was. You don't need to chase the sun when you are already holding the light. Just remove the clouds of doubt and let it shine. When you chase something, you reveal more than effort, you reveal belief. You speak not with your words, but with your energy, and what you say is, I do not have it. Every action taken in pursuit, when driven by desperation, becomes a declaration of lack. You become the one who waits, the one who hopes, the one who is separate from the very thing they long for. And in the unseen laws that govern your experience, that sense of separation is honored. You are given what you affirm, not with your mouth, but with your state of being. Chasing is not movement toward, it is movement away. Because to chase is to see something outside yourself. It is to treat your desire as distant, detached from your current reality. It is the subtle agreement that you are here and what you want is out there. And that distance, that gap, grows the more you chase. But attracting is different. Attracting comes from stillness, from knowing, from the silent confidence that what is yours cannot miss you. When you attract, you do not need to run. You become. You declare with your presence, it is already mine. Not because it has shown up in the world yet, but because it has shown up in you. You feel it. You live in the mood of it. You act from the outcome, not toward it. And in doing so, you become magnetic. Life reorganizes to match the frequency of your assumption. The outer world is a mirror, never a creator. You cannot fool it with words or surface actions. You can only attract what you are in truth. You do not get what you wish for, you get what you embody. You draw to yourself people, events, opportunities, and outcomes that are harmonious with your self-concept. So if your concept is rooted in lack, the world will echo that. If your concept is built in fullness, the world will show you fulfillment. This is why some people receive without striving. It's not luck. It's alignment. They have assumed a state of being that matches their desire. They feel worthy, complete, and at peace before the thing arrives. And because their vibration says, I already am, the universe responds, so it shall be. You must begin to see your desire not as something to acquire, but something to allow. Not as a goal in the distance, but as a state that you can wear now. Don't wait for proof to feel it. Feel it and the proof will come. Speak less about what you want and more from the place of already having it. Replace hope with certainty. Replace pursuit with presence. Chasing will always tire you. It places the power outside. But attracting is effortless. It happens through being. The moment you embody the version of you who already has what they want, you will stop waiting and start receiving. You will no longer send out the signal of lack, you will send out the frequency of completion. And life, ever obedient, will mirror back the truth you now hold, that it is already yours. You do not get what you want, you get what you believe you are worthy of. This is the truth that many overlook, hoping that sheer desire or effort will shift their world. But desire without self-worth is empty. Effort without inner belief is noise. It is not enough to want something. You must believe you deserve it. You must believe it is natural for you to have it, to hold it, to live within it. Your entire reality bends itself around your self-concept. Who you think you are deep in your heart becomes the foundation upon which everything else is built. If you see yourself as undeserving, the world agrees. If you see yourself as abundant, the world reflects that too. You cannot consistently receive from life what you have not first given to yourself internally. You will always resist the very thing you believe is too good for you. So the question is not, how do I get what I want? The true question is, who do I believe I am? Because your life is simply the echo of your identity. You cannot escape it. You walk into every situation, every relationship, every opportunity as yourself. Not the version you show to others, but the version you whisper to yourself when no one else is listening. If you secretly believe you're not enough, not ready, not lovable, that becomes your lived experience. Not because the world is cruel, but because it is obedient. It mirrors you with perfect precision. It gives you what you most often assume to be true about yourself, whether you speak it aloud or carry it silently. You must look closely, gently, and honestly at what you think you deserve. Do you accept crumbs when you long for the feast? Do you tolerate disrespect when your soul craves reverence? These are not acts of sacrifice. They are reflections of an inner story, one that must be rewritten if you ever wish to live differently. And the rewriting begins not with changing the outer world, but by changing your relationship with yourself. Speak to yourself as someone of value. See yourself as already worthy, not because you have accomplished some task, but because you are. Existence alone has qualified you. Creation would not have made you if you were not meant to receive the fullness of it. Begin to assume that what you want is not too big, not too far, not for someone else. Begin to imagine that it is yours because you are the kind of person it naturally belongs to. Wear that feeling, rest in that confidence. Let it become your new home. The moment your self-concept shifts, so does your world. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear, doors open, not through force, but through reflection. The outer is simply catching up to the new inner. You attract not what flatters your ego, but what matches your belief. So change the belief. See yourself as worthy, deeply and fully, not one day, but now. And then watch how life bows to your truth and mirrors back everything you once thought was out of reach. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of power. In a world addicted to noise, reaction, and endless striving, the one who chooses stillness appears passive, even indifferent. But that is a mistake in perception. For stillness is not weakness. It is strength at its highest expression. It is the soul refusing to panic. It is the mind anchored in knowing. It is creation in its purest form. You are not designed to chase. You are not made to plead, to beg, to convince. Your power was never in your struggle. It was in your silence. The still soul sees clearly. It is not hurried by fear or pulled by doubt. It trusts what cannot yet be seen because it knows that reality is first imagined, then revealed. It understands that all movement begins within and that outer conditions are only echoes of what you have already accepted as true. Silence is not emptiness. It is alignment. When you are silent, you create space. And in that space, you allow, you surrender, not to fate, but to truth. You stop wrestling with life and you let life meet you. It is not a surrender of desire, but a surrender of resistance. It is not giving up. It is rising up in calm authority, knowing that what belongs to you cannot pass you by. There is a quiet kind of confidence that changes everything. The one who waits in knowing, not begging, draws all things unto them, not because they demand it, but because they expect it. Their silence is not empty, it is full of faith. Their stillness is not inactivity, it is deliberate receptivity. They have made peace with the unseen, and because of that, the seen must rearrange itself in response. When you can rest in your assumption, when you no longer argue with appearances, you step into your divine creative power. You become a vibrational match to your desire, not through action, but through being. And the world, which is only ever a mirror, bends to reflect that shift. Stillness requires trust. It requires that you detach from the old reflex to fix, to hustle, to prove. It requires that you no longer look for validation from the outside, but instead confirm your inner vision with unwavering certainty. That kind of knowing cannot be taught. It must be chosen, and once you choose it, it carries you. You will notice that what once seemed difficult now arrives effortlessly. What once eluded you now finds you, not because you chased it, but because you became still enough to receive it. You stopped trying to control every detail and instead embodied the outcome. In that quiet embodiment, you became irresistible to the very thing you desired. Silence is your sanctuary. Stillness is your signal. In them, you return to your true self. The creator, not the chaser. The one who speaks not with noise but with intention. The one who commands not with force but with faith. And from that sacred place, all things are drawn unto you as reflections of the truth you have already become. Feeling is the hidden force behind all creation. It is not thought alone that shapes your world, but thought clothed in emotion, felt with intensity and lived as truth. You may affirm something 1,000 times, but if your feeling contradicts your words, it is your feeling that will be made manifest. The universe listens not to your lips, but to your state of being, and your state is nothing more than what you consistently feel to be true. Emotion is not weakness, it is power. It is creative fire. When imagination and emotion are fused, something miraculous occurs. You begin to impress your inner reality onto the outer world. You stop wishing and you start transmitting. You no longer act as someone trying to create. You become the one who has already created. You feel the scene of your desire as real, and in doing so, you send out a frequency that must return to you in physical form. This is the law, not because of magic, but because of the nature of consciousness. You are always imagining something, always feeling something, and the world around you, your relationships, your finances, your health, your opportunities, is reflecting that internal moving. If you imagine lack and feel it, the world brings more lack. If you imagine abundance and feel it as real, abundance shows up, not as luck, but as alignment. It is not about pretending or forcing emotion. It is about selecting a new inner experience and allowing yourself to dwell in it, to breathe into it, to saturate your mind with the tones of fulfillment. Ask yourself, what would it feel like if it were already done? Then live from that answer. Walk through the world with that emotion silently pulsing through you, not to prove anything, but because you have chosen to live in the state of the wish fulfilled. Many people confuse emotion with reaction, but reaction is unconscious. It is triggered by what appears to be. Creative feeling is deliberate. You are not reacting to the outer world, you are creating a new inner world. And from that new world, the outer must conform. There is no power in cold thought. You can analyze, reason, and plan, but without feeling, those thoughts carry no charge. They do not move the unseen. But when you combine an image in your mind with the emotion of having it now, you ignite creation. You generate a force that draws your vision out of the invisible and into form. This is why you must guard your emotions. not suppress them, but guide them. Choose feelings that match the life you want, not the life you fear. And return to those feelings often, not as a task, but as a way of being. Over time, that feeling becomes your natural state. And when it does, the world bends to match it. So feel it now, not later, not when it comes, that is too late. Feel it now. And let that feeling be your prayer, your declaration, your magnetic signal. Because what you feel as real becomes real, not because you forced it, but because you embodied it. And what you embody, you inevitably attract. To live from the end is to claim the thing desired as already yours, not in theory, but in experience. You do not reach toward your desire as though it were far away. You stand in the middle of it. You feel its presence before your senses confirm it. You do not wait to see it, you become it. This is the secret. What you accept as true within, your outer world is compelled to reflect. There is no need to force or beg. Creation responds not to effort, but to alignment. When you live from the end, you shift from longing to possessing. You are no longer trying to get somewhere, you are already there. And from that inner stance, everything begins to move around you to support that truth. People, places, circumstances all begin to reorganize to mirror your inner certainty. This is not delusion, it is the way reality is shaped. You are not here to predict the future, you are here to create it. You must assume the wish fulfilled, not as hope, but as fact. Hope carries doubt. It says, maybe one day. Assumption declares, it is already done. And when you assume something is done, you act differently. You speak differently. You rest differently. You no longer carry the weight of waiting, because the waiting is over. The inner world has shifted, and the outer must follow. Most people live toward their desires, always pushing, always striving. But in doing so, they place their dreams in the future, always out of reach. When you live towards something, you say, it is not here. But when you live from it, you say, it is already mine. And that declaration, silent, steady, sure, is what changes everything. The feeling is the key. How would you feel if you already had what you desire? Safe, free, grateful, confident? Let that feeling become your home. Let it saturate your being. The moment you feel it is natural, it is yours. Do not look to the outer world for confirmation. Look within. Feel the reality of your desire. Dwell there. Return to it daily, not as a task, but as a remembering. Living from the end is not pretending. It is knowing. You do not need to explain it to others. They will see the change soon enough. Your job is not to convince, but to embody. The world is not your master, it is your mirror. Change your reflection by changing your stance. And let go of the how. It is not your job to construct the bridge of events. That is handled by the unseen intelligence that shapes all things. Your only task is to remain faithful to the end. See it, feel it, rest in it. Let your conversations, your actions, your thoughts all come from the place of already having. You are not becoming, you are. That is the difference between wishing and creating. You live as the person who already has, already is, already knows. And because you live from it, the world has no choice but to reflect it. Creation begins within. Walk in the assumption that it is done and it shall be. Everything you seek is already within you. You do not have to chase, force, or plead. The power lies in stillness, in knowing, in becoming the embodiment of your desire. When you stop chasing and start attracting, you rise into the state of one who is, not one who waits. You begin to understand that your world is not happening to you, it is responding to you. What you feel, assume, and accept as true within will always manifest without. This is not philosophy, it is law. So live from the end. Speak not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Become quiet in your confidence. Rest in your worthiness. Attract not by effort, but by identity. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and watch as all things are drawn to you with grace, not because you chased them, but because you finally realized they were yours all along. Thank you for listening.